Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Competition Act of 2002. It is important for every country to ensure that there is healthy competition in the economy. And to ensure healthy competition in the economy, the Indian government enacted the Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act of 1969. So this was the first anti-competitive legislation which was enacted in India. However, with the passage of time, it was found that the MRTP Act was inadequate, and with the with the changing world trade scenario. So, considering this fact, the Indian government formed a committee on competition policy and law to advise on the new framing of a new competition law. And based on the recommendations of the committee, the government enacted the Competition Act of 2002, which came into effect from 13th January 2003. So basically, the objectives of the Act have been set forth in its preamble, which states that the Act would provide for the establishment of a commission, that is the we have the Competition Commission of India being established, basically to prevent the anti-competitive practices. Moving on to the main objects of the Act. Now, the main object of this Competition Act is to ensure that there is healthy competition in the markets. Further, the Act also aims at preventing practices which have adverse effects on competition. So, for checking these practices, anti-competitive agreements and various other unfair trade practices, the under the Act we have the establishment of Competition Commission of India, which has a check on the acts of various enterprises to ensure that there is healthy competition in the economy. Further, by ensuring healthy competition, by ensuring that none of the competitors have the right to control prices and all, and by ensuring healthy competition, the Competition Act of 2002 seeks to provide a wide variety of goods to the customers and at reasonable prices. So, in this way, the interests of the consumers are also protected. And basically, the Competition Act has been established to ensure that there is freedom of trade for every individual entity, whether it is a small trading firm or whether it is a large trading firm. Now, some of the key components of the Act which are aimed at ensuring that there is healthy competition among the various firms are: the first key component is restriction on anti-competitive agreements. Second, prohibition on abuse of dominant position. Third, regulation of combinations. And fourth, competition advocacy. Now let's study each of these components in detail. Now moving, first we have anti-competitive agreements. Anti-competitive agreements are agreements among persons who are involved in similar business transactions in order to reduce the competition. And so basically, anti-competitive agreements have the tendency to reduce the competition in a particular market, and which shouldn't or which results in undue benefit to one person's or group loss for over the other for the other members. Now, before analyzing the anti-competitive agreements in detail, let's first try to understand the meaning of agreement or the definition of agreement under the Competition Act of 2002. Now, the term agreement includes all forms of arrangements between parties, which has been either executed in the form of a formal document or informal document, again, which may be in writing or which may not be in writing. So, an agreement, as per the Competition Act of 2002, need not necessarily be in writing. Now, the main reason why such a broad definition has been adopted for the word agreement in under the Competition Act is because sometimes persons who are involved in anti-competition activities may not enter into formal written agreements so as to keep their agreements as a secret affair, because they are practicing something which is unlawful, right? Nobody enters into a formal agreement. So even an agreement which which is among parties which may need not which is need not written necessarily in terms in which need not be in writing can still be considered as an agreement among the parties. Now, some examples of these anti-competitive agreements are: supposing there is one example could be bid rigging agreements. Now, bid rigging agreements refers to the agreements between people who are engaged in similar businesses. Now, let's take the example: the government has invited bids for contracts relating to construction of highways. So maybe there is a contract which has been appointed for the construction of national highway between Bangalore and Chennai. So in such case, there will be various parties who will apply for the contract, and each party will be ready to construct the highway for the government at the least possible price. But then when they are in their quest to get the contract, the parties generally have to quote less prices, and in this way the profits are reduced. So sometimes what the parties will do is they will enter into a bid rigging agreement. Supposing four parties are applying for the contract, Mr. A, B, C, and D company are applying. So A company will tell B, C, and D that let me allow to take this contract. So that's why so I will apply for this contract, and Mr. A, Mr. maybe company A will tell their contract the price at which they are quoting. Maybe they are quoting the price of the contract for 1,500 crores. So maybe they will tell Mr. B, C, and D to quote more than 1,500 crores so that Mr. A's company only gets the contract. And in turn, since Mr. B, C, and D are foregoing the contract, Mr. A will tell that whenever the next contract is called, they will support the other parties in getting the contract. So this is an anti-competitive agreement where informally they are trying to reduce the competition. So any agreement which aims at controlling or fixing the prices of purchase or selling of a product or rendering a service directly or indirectly are called as anti-competitive agreements, and making of such competitive anti-competitive agreements is against the provisions of the Competition Act of 2002. Next we have is prohibition of the use of dominant position. Dominant position is a position where a single person acts as a market player, supposing there's a company which is a market player, means a leading company in mobile phone manufacturing, and if this company does not want the other companies to enter into mobile phone manufacturing, what they will do is this company will practice unfair practices like predatory pricing. See, the word predator in simple English means a person who thrives on or survives on eating the other persons. So, predatory pricing is a concept where a big firm who has huge economies of scale. Economies of scale means because it is a big firm, it is able to manufacture goods at the least possible cost. So, it will practice predatory pricing. Predatory pricing means whenever a new firm wants to enter the market, the big firm will try to offer the products less than what the new firm can offer. Supposing a new firm can offer a particular mobile handset for 10,000, which is the least possible amount at which they can offer. The dominant firm will offer the same mobile phone handset maybe at rupees 8,000, because when they are offering the same handset for 8,000, customers will obviously buy the product which is offered at a lower price. So in this way, what happens, the new firm will slowly will not be able to survive in the market, and as soon as the new firm seeks to stop surviving in the market, again the dominant firm will increase the prices. Maybe from 8,000 they will again shoot to 13,000 to cover the losses which they had incurred for selling the goods at 8,000. So this is an abuse of dominant position, where an existing firm tries to avoid the entry of new firms by adopting practices like predatory pricing. Next is regulation of combinations. Next is regulation of combinations. Uh, Basically, a combination refers to the acquisition of one or more enterprises by way of merger or amalgamation or control over the enterprises. So basically, an acquisition can also mean any acquisition of control, shares, or voting rights of any other enterprise, or any acquisition of control by a person over an enterprise at any merger or amalgamation. So whenever there is any such combinations, the Competition Commission of India must be notified within 30 days of the trigger effect of such event of such combinations, and the Competition Commission of India will investigate into such combinations to make sure that the combinations which are so formed are legal and have not been formed without any due to any exploitative practices. And lastly, we have competition advocacy. Competition advocacy refers to the main objective of the Competition Act to ensure that there is healthy competition which is there in the economy, because only when there is healthy competition, good quality goods will be offered at reasonable prices to the consumers, and the rights of the consumers would be protected. Now, a cartel basically refers to Moving on to the definitions under the Act. Firstly, we have the definition of cartel. The word cartel includes any association of producers, sellers, distributors, traders, or service providers who, by an agreement among themselves, try to limit, control, or attempt to control the production, distribution, sale, or prices of goods or services. Like we may have a cartel. Sometimes we find, the practice, onion prices would suddenly reduce, or sometimes they would shoot up suddenly. So, see, we all know the law of economics, or in the law of in economics, we all know the law of supply. When there is less supply, the price shoots up. So maybe the producers of onion, the manufacturers, I mean the producers or the agriculturalists of onions will practice will form a cartel where they will through the cartel they will try to increase the prices of the onions by controlling the supply. Purposely, they will try to reduce the supply of onions in the market for a certain period, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. And as the once the price shoots up, they will release the supply in the market. So such practices by cartels is prohibited under the Competition Act. Next is dominant position. Now, dominant position means refers to a dominant position or supreme position which is enjoyed by one enterprise, where the enterprise is able to control the price at which the products are offered in the market. Then first, next we have is acquisition. Acquisition refers to acquiring or getting the shares, voting rights of any other enterprise. And predatory pricing means trying to sell the goods, in order to ensure that no new player is entering into the market. Whenever a new enterprise is entering in the market, the existing firms will practice predatory pricing. Predatory pricing is they will try to purposely offer the products at a very less price than which is offered by the new entrant. So in turn, what will happen is because the products are offered at a very low price by the existing firms, customers will buy the products of the existing firms and not buy the products of the new firm. So once the new firm loses the business and it is not able to survive in the market, then in that case the existing firms will again raise the prices. This is another predatory pricing is another form of unhealthy competition which is aimed at preventing the entry of new entrants into the market. So these are some of the important definitions under the Act.